A couple of men have been giving money away here in Atlanta. $50 bills, sometimes 2 and 3 and sometimes more. So far, a couple of $1,000s have been given away. When did he give you the money? How long ago was it?
That was around about 12:30.
About 12:30. What were you doing then? Just sort of walking down the street and he walked up and gave it to you or what?
No, sir. He went down around that way and went up Morgan Street. Me and my friend ran up John.
Did you give your friend some money too?
No, we slipped in the lady house and got it. We was in the hallway. He knocked on the door. So I opened the door. He asked where my mother was. I said she at work. He asked how many sisters and brothers I got. I told him I got 4. He gave me a check and said, "May Lord bless you." That's all he said.
Was the money, did he give it to you in
an envelope?
In an envelope. Did it have anything written on the envelope? How much did you get?
I got a $250 bill.
When did he give it to you?
About 1 o'clock.
Where were you when he gave it to you?
I was on Tatlaw Street. That's right.
What are you going to do with your money?
Well, I don't really do what I'm going to do with it. I don't spend it.
Well, Christmas is coming. I know you appreciate the gift, don't you?
That's right, very much.
Did he say anything to you when he gave it to you?
He didn't say nothing, just said, look inside.
Just look inside.
That's right.
Well, that's fine. I wish I were here for it. Did anybody else get any?
No, I wish I had.
You didn't get any?
I would go.
You think it's counterfeit or?
I think it's real. I think it's real stuff.
Christmas came about 2 weeks early for you this year, huh?
It did.
What are you going to do with it?
I don't know. Probably by my wife. Something real pretty.
Good. I know she'll appreciate that.
Sister.
Here's. Spend it. What are you going to spend it on?
I bought me something, Chris. I already don't spend it.
What did he do when he gave it to you? Did he say anything to you?
He's may God bless you.
Did you know where these men were from? Had you ever seen them before?
No.
Well, I'd rather you did to this extent than not possibly let it find. I don't know what they're clear or what procedures they're going to do about it. I know they've contacted the family or a family. So it's supposed to be one that they see about there.
think that we were just like a lot of guys, average guys, in the respect that we often wonder, you know, why is it a Negro can't own this, and why is it a Negro can't own that? And finally got down to the point of saying, well, why can't we own something? I got a pretty clean landing. $10 or $15? No. No pretty quick. Well, aside from the fact that we certainly wanted to make some money, and we've always wanted to go into business. And then again, when we look around, especially in the black community, and we look at the various businesses, especially the, shall we say, the larger or more profitable businesses, and they're all owned by white people, you know. And we looked around for the type of business, what we considered the right type of business for us, for the resources that we had, and it was just a matter of finding that business. And once we found it, really getting the opportunity open to us.
Can anyone just jump into business like you did and make a success of it?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say jump into it. We spent a lot of time, you might say, doing research, and plus pounding on a lot of people's doors. We thought we had a good thing. We realized that we did have, and we were just searching for the opportunity. So I said that if more opportunities were available, then you would give, because you do have a number of people with aspirations similar to ours. So if more opportunities were available, then more people would be able to go into business.
Why did you pick Atlanta for your business operation? What do you think the opportunity is here?
I had been in Atlanta several times before during my school days, and of course, the city has grown tremendously since the last time I've been here. But I thought then that Atlanta was an area for a lot of potential, and so I decided on Atlanta. I thought of a couple other cities in the South, and Atlanta seemed the more promising as far as what I thought I could do. And I certainly hope this will remain true.
Well, because of the movement, they stopped the show, and they weren't really aiming directly to me because I guess I'm one of the few that were able to beat the structure of and the line that everybody had to follow. Of course, even though I'm a little disappointed because they were aiming direct at the people, and I guess they had to stop a brother, but they have already apologized and told me that they're not fighting me because they know of the movement that I have and the way I try to build the image of a black man to do anything, any major move on his own. And that's one reason I'm out here, because I try to prove every day that a black man can run a multi-million-dollar operation and not be assisted by a white man as far as making his final decision and things like that. Being 100% in charge.
Dr. Hammond, just what happened last night?
Well, about 12 o'clock, my wife was aroused by some shots being fired above my home. And I got up and went out on the front and I didn't hear any. They had already stopped. Well, I stayed awake then for quite a while, and I saw the police car going up, and I waited for maybe 30 minutes, and the cars came back. Well, I said, well, it's all over now. So I fixed to go back to bed, and it looked like it was going to start right over again. Another about 25 probably shots fired up there at that time. And then in a short while, the police came on back, and that was all so far as I knew that night.
Why do you think the Negroes did this, or demonstrated here, excuse me? Is the NAACP responsible in any way for this demonstration?
It looks like it could be connected with it from the pamphlets that were distributed in the city of Monroe yesterday. Now, the Negroes, to me, have been in the past wanted a Negro policeman. I met with the Negro committees on 4 different occasions, and they've all said, we want a Negro policeman. I said, well, suggest someone. No, they never suggested a person. I finally selected 2, and these 2 did not need or meet the approval of the Negroes.
Are any steps being taken here in Monroe to ease the tension between the races?
I don't see why it should be, because as mayor of Monroe, I've never refused the Negroes one thing that they've asked for. We've got good schools, good facilities in athletics, and a good auditorium, and everything that the white people have that I know of except a swimming pool.
From talking to you earlier, you mentioned that outside interference would possibly be one of the worst things for Monroe, such as newspapers and TV coming in and stirring up trouble. How do you feel about this?
I feel that if the outside interference would come in that hate the Negroes worse than any citizens in Monroe, that we could handle this situation just okay.
Thank you. Mr. Morris, you were there last night, or you know what happened. Just what did happen at the service station?
We have our court every Monday night. Last night I stayed up here until 9:30, and I would have thought we wouldn't have a bit of trouble. Everything looked peace and quiet. But I went home and went to bed. About 10:30 I got a call from the police on the desk saying that up at this station there was some gathering. Looked like they might have a demonstration. I got out of bed and came back to town, stopped at the station where the police was on the desk, and found out that we had a few colored people gathering across the street from the station, and there were several white people at the station. So myself and the sheriff, Walton County Sheriff, and his deputy, and my assistant chief got in a car and drove up to the crowd, and I asked the service station attendant what time he was going to close, and he said they would close about 11:30, and it was 11:20, I believe, at that time. I told him I appreciate if he would close, because I thought it would be better for everybody concerned if they'd all leave. I thought the colored people would leave too. Seemed that they just jowled across the street at one another. So the colored police were up there with the crowd of colored people trying to persuade them to leave and go home. They said if the station closed and the white people left, they would go home peaceably. So I told the colored policemen just to go ahead with their regular patrolling and leave the crowd there. Seemed like they thought as long as we were there, they had police protection and they didn't care to leave. So we came back down to the police station, and I guess stayed 30 minutes. Everything was quiet and peaceful. Looked like wasn't anything going to happen, so I went back home again. Undressed and went back to bed. Got one leg straightened out and the other one was fixing to get straight when they called me again and said, looked like you're not going to get to sleep any. There had been some shooting up at the station. So I dressed and came back to town and went up to the station. They were all quiet. Wasn't a thing happening. A few shots had been fired. They said the colored people fired the first shot. And the filling station attendant said he fired back with a shotgun. They carried 4 colored people to the hospital with just barely had a shot stuck in the face, some of them in the head. None of them were seriously injured. The shot that they were using were bird shot. And so everything quieted down again and I went back home. And this time I didn't go to bed. Before I got in the door good, they called me and said that the service station had been demolished. So when I got back uptown, policemen told me that they had got the station closed. All the white people had gone, wasn't a white person to be seen, and most of the colored people had left, but a small group was hanging around a house across the street from the station. And when they left up there, about 10 minutes they went back by the place, and the glasses had all been knocked out, pumps had been wrecked, 3 cars there had been smashed in, all the glasses, and
GBI is investigating this, is it not? How do you feel about this?
the GBI came down about, I believe it was about 3 o'clock, come up and looked the situation over, thought it was a terrible mess, and they said they would be investigating throughout the day, and we are investigating too. We've got several names that we know were on the scene last night. We're going to do some questioning, the ones that we have the names.
Do you think you need the help of the GBI?
Well, we appreciate any help that we can get from any source. If we could find out who the guilty party is, we certainly would like to.
Thank you very much.
What would be gained by either race from integration?
There's no gain, because the way this prison is built and administered if it were totally segregated, which it's not, it's just like 2 prisons in one. We eat the same food. We've got 2 libraries. We've got equal medical facilities. Everything is equal. Nobody's being denied a thing by a segregated institution. Everybody has the same thing.
Do you agree with that, Eddie?
I agree. All the same facilities as far as medical care is concerned, and food, and most of the work. Yeah, I was saying. But most of all, we just want to stay as we are, you know, for living, sleeping. That's the main problem. We stay sleep where we are, because I've been in one place for about 3 or 4 years, the same dormitory, and I'm just part of that dormitory, you know. So I have to move from over there over here, and automatically upset me and some of the fellows over there also.
Well, I would say that it was very successful. Of course, we had considerable help from the county and the police officials. But as far as we could see under the circumstances, it was highly successful in my mind.
It is the fact that today there was a telephone call from a voice that seemed to be that of a woman saying that a bomb had been placed in the building and it would explode at 1:30 p.m. Adequate precautions had been taken. The police were on hand. Further adequate precautions were taken. And of course it was another hoax that was in keeping with others that we've had in weeks past, none recently, however.
Did anybody say anything to you at all? I mean, did the children speak to you?
Yes, they said something. Some of the children told me their names and asked me what was my name, like that.
And you told them?
Yeah.
What else did you tell them?
Well, I asked them did they have any brothers or sisters, and they asked me did I have any. I told them about my brothers and sisters, and they told me about theirs and some of their problems and stuff like that.
Did you feel as if you're going to like it there?
Yeah.
How about you, Gloria? Did you like it at school today?
Yeah.
What difference was there in going to Hoffman Boston School?
Well, school is bigger. It's easy to get lost there.
I understand you got lost.
Oh, that's a very hard question to answer. But here in New Lincoln, segregation has been broken down. And in Little Rock it hasn't. So I think it would be my duty to go back and break it down for my sisters and children like my sister and brother who would like to go to a better school.
Well, Minnie Jean, one of the school officials in Little Rock said, in effect, that you had been in so much trouble that you invited trouble. What is your answer to that? Will you invite more trouble, do you think, when you go back?
Well, as far as he's concerned, I have no comment as far as anything he has to say. I know who you're talking about, so it would just be unnecessary for me to make a comment.
All that we sought to do today was to get a consensus of opinion among the leadership of the Negro people of Atlanta as to the matters with which we are deeply concerned, and some expression as to the priority of those objectives.
And this group is going to, shall we say, farm out responsibility. But if we leave the word clear here, it may lead the press to think that this is the clearinghouse to which we refer and get approval. This is not...
So the last registration day?
Be glad to. These were not taken by me, they were taken by commercial field. In no case will we have found from this office, and we have checked carefully, all of them, that none of that is going on that we can find. Now, we have an economic situation in this county that is causing a constriction of credit. But this constriction of credit started a year or more ago, not now.
So you don't think credit's being withdrawn just because a Negro registered to vote?
No, sir, I do not.
When I started out the door, the store owner in the hardware called me over and said, "I want to see you a minute, John." And when I walked over to him, he says, that mess you started around here, you went to Washington and cranked up. We've been living together all our life, and we are satisfied like it is, and we should think y'all would be satisfied and resentful of that what you started and mess you in.
From Memphis. This one shows the registration desk and the two lines, the white and the Negro, and this Negro is being...
I can't sell you nothing else, and don't come in my store no more. I myself don't care, and but the big men over me, what I'm getting my money from, tell me not to sell you nothing.
This is what the hardware store
That's what the hardware owner told me. He said the big men over him told him not to sell me nothing. He said he was given orders a week ago to tell me to stay out of his store. My money in Fayette County is counterfeit. I can't even buy nothing.
You can buy groceries for your family, can't you?
I can't even buy a popsicle, not less known groceries from a family, no gasoline, and all the gas companies I've tried to get gas from refuse me. And
I think this would be a good time to walk in here and talk to Sam, well known around the country now as Shuffling Sam. How are you today?
Fine.
As I understand it, believe it or not, you were waiting for a streetcar or a bus.
I was waiting for a bus on my way to my home.
And what did the officers say to you at that time?
They asked me what I was doing. I told them I was waiting for a bus. They doubted my word and put lottery against me And when I talked to the officers, then they put DC disorderly conduct against me for talking back to the officer that locked me up.
And you maintain that you were there minding your own business, killing a little time, waiting for a bus.
That is right.
I understand that they accused you of dancing in a place where it was illegal to dance.
I was not dancing.
Well, would you mind showing us just about what you were really doing at the time the police walked up to you?
This was while I was doing when the officers walked in. Cafe where I was tapping my foot to the tune of the jukebox. And the music was good, so they asked me what I was doing. I told them nothing, listening to the beat of the music. And then, when they told me I was under arrest, don't you see, and I asked them for what? They said for loitering. I told them I wasn't loitering, I was just listening to the music.
I lived with Mr. Leatherwood 10 years. I never had no trouble. I worked shift tenant 9 years, and I rented the house from him 1. I registered August the 3rd. I voted November the 8th. And the 14th of December, I moved.
When did he tell you you had to move?
He told me to move the 22nd of November.
And now that the Supreme Court has made its ruling, or the Court of Appeals, could you possibly return home now?
No, sir, I couldn't turn home. He told me to get off his problem, and I had to get off.
Well, now with the conditions that you've lived under here, with being shot at night before last, you and your family will continue to stay here. Why will you stay?
Why would I stay? I ain't got nowhere else to go. And I lived in Fayette County. I was raised and born in Fayette County, lived in Fayette County all my life.
We're to preach to you the truth. To spend your money for liquor is wrong. Stay out of these state stores. To spend your money going to movies on Sunday and even during the week to these segregated places is wrong. Stay out of these segregated movie balconies. To spend your money to ride on segregated buses is a sin. Stay off these segregated buses. You are supporting an evil. You are destroying also, but sadly, the segregation.
What did you observe when you arrived at the hospital the other night?
Well, I saw an unusual crowd standing outside the entrance door, and something that didn't happen every time I went down there. And I inquired what was going on.
Was the woman still outside at the time?
Yes. No, the woman was not still outside. They were talking about what had happened, just happened. So when I asked them, they told me this lady just died out there.
What, if any, measures does the SCLC plan to take?
Wires have been sent to Mr. W.O. Duval, who is chairman of the Fulton DeKalb County Hospital Authority, and to Mr. Aldridge, the chairman of the county commissioners, and to the foreman of the present Fulton County grand jury, asking them to investigate this death of this Negro woman under the circumstances as has been sworn to in his affidavit.
Is anybody planning to file any type of charges against the hospital, any member of the family or anybody that would have a right to file legal charges?
Most certainly, I would feel that before making any such statement as that, I would like to, at least Atlanta's SCLC, would like to get the facts involved in the case, and that is what we are going to do now. And if the facts merit action, whatever action the facts merit, those are the actions that will be carried out.
Mr. Rainey, from the information you have been able to learn so far, what took place at the hospital the night of the death?
Well, this lady came in about 6:30, I was told. I wasn't there when she got there. And about 9:15, I arrived around 9:10, I suppose. I was walking through the ramp, and I saw all these people gathered out there, and then I saw the doors open, and they rushed back in the hospital. And when I got there, everybody was talking about the incident, and so they were telling me about it. And I mean, most of the people didn't know that I was a reporter, and so they were all discussing it. And so I inquired more about it, and I went to the desk where the clerks worked, and I asked them for information on the lady who had just died outside the door, which I had been told she died. And a few minutes later, I mean, I could get no information there. And a few minutes later, I saw them bring the lady out of the emergency ward. I mean, the sheet was over.
Was there with her that gave you any information?
No, I didn't talk to any of her direct relatives.
I think a large number of students and faculty and some administration people, I'm sure, would like to see the entire group of schools, that is Atlanta University Center, become to the black community much the same thing as Notre Dame is to the Catholic community, or certain Jewish schools are to the Jewish community. That is a kind of guardian of the peoplehood of the group. This would be a monopoly of the school, that you would extend study, especially in the direction of black life in this country and in other parts of the world.
In the protest movement, what role does black power play?
Well, I think black power plays a role in any kind of expression which is self-conscious of the blackness of those involved, so that I would say that it plays a generally prominent role in the sense that both students and faculty who are interested in making the university a more self-consciously black institution manifest an interest in promoting that direction, and I suppose you could call that black power if you liked.
Well, many times when we come to the complex, you see some students giving the black power greeting sign. Now, does this mean that they are more actively involved than others?
It may or may not.
What is the significance of that?
Well, it has the same symbolic value as any kind of gesture which identifies your sympathies.
Well, are those who don't give this greeting not identified with it, or are they less identified?
No, it just means that they assume a different role.
What role is that?
I wouldn't care to comment on that one.
Ernest, what's it been like this year? Has it been what you expected, or?
Well, from the beginning it wasn't quite what we expected, but adding all things together and putting all sides together, I think it's turned out to be, well, I would say an interesting year. I guess that would be an understatement, but when you put all the sides together, we've had some nice times as well as some rough times, and I think all in all it's worked out rather nicely.
Ernest, what are your own plans from now on? You going to college?
Well, I plan to go to college, and I plan to major in pre-law.
What school are you going to?
I plan to attend, at the moment, Michigan State.
It is with compassion for our native land and love for our daughter, Dorothy, that we withdraw her as a student at Harding High School. As long as we felt that she could be protected from bodily injury and insults within the school walls and upon the school premises, we were willing to grant her desires to study at Harding High School. Contrary to this optimistic view, her experiences at school on Wednesday disillusioned our faith and left us no alternative.
How many people live here?
It's 11 people.
How many adults and how many children?
Well, it's 7 children. I mean, and 3. Well, most of it's grown here now. I don't. You mean this to grandchildren's and? No.
How many over 18 and how many under 18?
Well, it's 5 over 18, and it's 7 under 18.
How much land goes with this house, Miss Tice?
It's 60 acres.
And how much of it do you have planted?
40 acres. 40 acres of it.
What's happening to the other 20 acres?
Well, as the man that plows for us, he's taking some of it, Mr. Peyton Langford.
What kind of crops do you have on this land?
Well, we have corn and cotton, most of the acres of it, and then we have gardens. Then we planted cucumbers this year.
How much rent do you pay to Mrs. Lyndon Johnson for this house and the use of the 60 acres of land?
Well, we pays 1/4 out of every bale of cotton. We pays 1/4. 1/4.
How much would that amount to over a period of a month?
Well, I really don't know. I hadn't figured it out because I'm not the one, that sees that. It's my brother,
You pay 25% of your crop to Mrs. Johnson in rent?
Yes, sir. Well, that's right. Yes, sir.
What about the crops other than cotton? Do you have to give her any of that money?
No, sir. No, sir.
Have you ever heard of President Johnson's poverty program?
No, sir. Well, you mean what you mean
It's a program the president is trying to get passed by Congress to increase, he says, the standard of living of the poor people of this country. What do you think this program might do to increase the standard of living of the people living in this house?
Well, as far as I know, I think it's going to help us. That's what, I mean, they was talking about Sunday. I mean, they was saying that, you know, if they can get it to pass, that it would help us.
Who was talking about it Sunday?
Mr. Congress and the men that was with him.
The Republican congressman came to visit with you?
Yes, sir.
What did they talk about?
Well, they asked us about our house and had they ever decided to fix the houses, and they took pictures of the rooms and asked us about our heats that we use and the stoves and different things that we use in our house, and did we have water inside or outside, and then they asked us about the sanitary places that we have inside, outside, so.
And how about the answer to these questions?
Well, it was no, because we don't have running water, and we don't have sanitary inside. We only have outside. And they asked about the roofings of the house, did it leaks, and we told them, well, some of the rooms did, and some was all right. He asked us, what do we do to prevent the water from getting on the floor? Well, he asked us, did we use pans or things on the floor? Well, we told him yes, sometimes.
Are you now getting, or you or any of the people who live here getting any money from the federal government through any means such as welfare?
My mother is. My mother and one sister.
How much does that amount to a month?
Well, they get $60 a month for Social Security, and then they get $9 a month from welfare.
What do you think the president could do most in his poverty program to increase the standard of living of the people living here?
Well, they could help us.
For example?
Well, they can give us, at least my mother, more money in the welfare.
Okay, that's better. Miss Tice, on our way here, we stopped by the local deputy's office, and he says they have raided many stills, moonshine stills, on the Johnson land. Have you ever seen them out here doing any of that?
Well, I saw them came through, but I've never been able to see them doing any of that kind of stuff. I just saw them pass through the road, and that was all. But what they was doing, I didn't know, because most of the time that I'll be working, and I didn't, so I don't, know about anything about that.
Hello. Hello. I'm Ms. Hawkins from National Access and EOA Center. I'm taking a survey out here on Head Start, and I want to know, do you have a child to be going to Head Start this year? Age is 4.
Yes, I do.
May I come in and talk to you?
Yes, come in.
Thank you. Hello. My name is Miss Hawkins, and I'm taking this survey for Head Start. Head Start is a wonderful program. See, it gets the child really ready for school. I had 2 children went to Head Start, and when they got to be going in 1st grade, they really did learn a lot, and they also goes on trip, and all of that is free, and they have care if they need to go to the doctor. And Head Start started in June and it's end in July and August. And I don't exactly know which school we're going to be held Head Start, but I do know that it will be around here in the area somewhere.
Do you have to pay for them going?
No, you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay nothing at all. The only thing we ask you to do is just get them prepared and ready to go. So I'm going to get you to sign this here, and I will come back and will let you know when be ready for the child to be enrolled in. Right, thank you.
I think this is a possibility. They apparently seem to be trying to wrap public accommodations up with a package deal, and if no agreement can be reached on the public accommodations bit, well then, they aren't going to agree on federal housing or the biracial commission. This is the way the situation looks at this moment. think they're too hopeful either at this point, but they're quite ready to come out on the streets and march again.
How do you assess the attitude of the Justice Department toward Cambridge now?
So I think it's concerned, and I think it's doing everything within its power, to resolve some of these questions. It's just a matter of how much the Justice Department can do at this point.
What did Little Rock do to America and to our country? It showed 2/3 of the world's population that the democracy and the freedom that we brag about is not practiced in America. The Constitution that we hold so high does not apply to Negroes. We need the friendship of the darker peoples around the world, but they are standing in frustration with all the things that have been told and all the money that we are spending abroad to spread the propaganda. But yet, they look at the daily headlines and they see a mob, a governor of Mississippi and a governor of Arkansas defying the law. They see a mob led by a general who served in the armed forces. A general who should know better than you and I how his actions affect our image abroad.
Did the housing inspectors inspect the house that you were in after the CRC meetings?
Let me see. They inspected before and after. It was 2 that came out and said the premises, they were unfit to live in, and well, the people, they just wouldn't fix it up no way at all. I mean, I had asked them, but they never did anything. I stayed there 6 years. They never did anything.
Who found the house you're in now?
I did. I had been looking for a larger houses, but it's very hard to get a house when you have a lot of children, because they said the children tears up the houses. And a lot of people just won't rent your house with a large family. I have 6. And ages ranging from 3 to 14. And, well, finally I found this here. And it's much better. It's not a castle or nothing, but to me it's much better than what I had. At least I do have hot and cold water and a bath. And it's much better.
Don't be looking at the camera, just be looking down.
Most of our problem was this, a community problem. We didn't have the adequate police protection that we like to have. Some of our sewages and whatnot would flood over and then gave a lot of trouble.
What has the CRC been able to do about this?
Well, the CRC came in and heard our grievances, and they carried it back to City Hall, and so we could get a little bit of action on these problems. They brought lawyers out here and had us to ask lawyers various questions on our legal rights, what rights we had in being arrested, having warrants or whatnot, in order to give us a better view in what to do in case police came up and tried to make an arrest where he did it legally or how. And we thought that was very necessary, because some of us didn't know when we was in our rights and when we were not.
What is your objective? Our objective is, in this immediate instance, our objective is to gain seating and eating facilities here in downtown Winston.
Where have you tried?
We've tried Crescent, and right immediately we tried Walgreens, howsoever the place is closed now.
Would you accept any kind of compromise?
What sort of compromise?
For example, separate sections of a lunch counter?
No, because the National Supreme Court has declared that separate but equal is in and of itself unequal and illegal.
What do you plan to do next?
We plan to keep coming back until we find a place where we can sit down on a first-come, first-served basis. We can sit and eat where
someday we shall brothers be. We shall brothers be. Shine on in the light of mine.
Talk to us on camera outside.
No pictures.
we are seeking a percentage of his overall health to be Negro, Puerto Rican, Jews, which he hasn't got. He has 126 people working in 4 stores. He has 3 porters. There was 4, but Fordham Road no longer has a Negro porter. And out of 126 people and only 3 employed are Negroes and they're porters, that's not quite that's merely token, less than token. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
DeKalb County Board of Education does not respect black. What they said to black folk in DeKalb County. You shout, oh yeah, where the jail lies open, oh yeah, na 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 na. Ain't gonna breathe no more. There's a young black man inside that building ain't gonna eat no more. There's a young black man on the side of that building. And I ain't scared of no man. I'm not afraid. They not gonna bother me. I'm a man. I'm a black man. I'm a case in point that black is beautiful and it's beautiful.
Stand it until an investigation is had, and I think that in this case we ought to make certain that justice prevails. All the way. We want to say thank you, Senator Leroy Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, we got another famous guest here, Brother Dwayne Jones. Because I couldn't even finish it, because matter of fact, I'm sick and tired of this happening, and I feel that you are too. And you see, we can't rely on the people downtown to take care of our business, because you see, they can't even take care of their business. And you see, for Brother Brandon and who I knew I had only seen a couple of times, you dig what I'm saying? It didn't have to be my brother or my son or my cousin, you dig it? Because he's just like this and just like you all out there. He's black, so he's a part of us. He was a part of us. You see, that could have been anybody that is here. That could have been any one of us. What we have to do is become involved into each other. Because you see, the white folks, they don't know what's going down all the way from Washington to Atlanta downtown. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So we must unite ourselves to show that Brother Brandon Gibson's death will not go unavenged. To show that no more deaths we will not tolerate it. We have to let them know we will not tolerate this. And as far as the pigs that came in our community and took our brothers' lives away, they should have to be dealt with. They will have to be dealt with. Now I don't know how you feel about it. You get people out here to be done this time besides talk, because talk is good, but ain't nothing gonna take care of business like action. That's all I gotta say.
For him to live. What's the young man's name was killed? Brandon. As I saw Brandon, I have a son named Andre, Northside High. And Andre won a lot of trophies in track, and Andre won a lot of trophies in football. And as I saw the trophies of this 17-year-old boy, Brandon Gibson, who really had tried, but America didn't give him a chance. As I saw the trophies of young Brennan, who is dead now in the morgue, you know who I thought about? I thought about my son, Andre. Andre is only 17, and Andre is not going to ever take what white America has done to me. And they shot young Brennan not because he was a criminal, but they shot him mainly because he was black. And if Andre, my son, that my wife buried, if they killed young Brennan because he was black, they killed my son Andre because he is black too. And I have to be concerned, and that's why I came out this afternoon. I had a very important picket line. But I'm tired of together. They didn't have to worry. They shot him not because they was afraid of him,
But they shot y'all's black folk. You niggas better stay in your place. All the time, don't stand still. All the time. Now they've killed 2 men out in we gonna be treated right, or there ain't gonna be no damn Atlanta, Georgia. It's time for us to stop dealing in ideologies. It's time for us to understand America is a sick, racist nation. It's time for us to get together. I don't care whether I sleep tonight in my bed with the beauty rest mattress, or whether I sleep in the damn out in that street out there. I'm tired of America of being a slave. You brought my foreparents here without their will. You took my grandmother from my grandfather without his consent. Y'all ain't tired. Wherefore God, I will be at the head of the line. I will not sit in an air-conditioned office with carpet on the floor and tell you what to do. To be free. My ancestors bled in this country. The dream of commerce. How you tell Maynard Jackson? How you tell your university? Who I be your slave? I'm no slave. I'm free. Because I got my money. I ain't never been chained without bloodshed.
All right.
Jesus did not bring it without bloodshed. There ain't never been chained without bloodshed. And I tell you, maybe I'll be like to be like this, brother. I'm tired of being a slave. I'm tired of the white man. So tell you what I want to do. I want some of y'all to check me.
Look at the star high.
Get in line.
The bill should also provide that he will have to be closed while this case is going to court. We as Negroes feel that when we walk into this restaurant, we should be protected under the law, and that if he refused to serve Negroes while he's in the court action, then the restaurant should be closed, or if he wants to take it to court and serve Negroes until he gets a decision down. There's been a lot of questions asked lately with the Civil Rights Bill and the Public Accommodations section. Why do we demonstrate instead of taking it through court? Well, it's simple. We feel that although the Civil Rights Bill have solved a lot of problems, that it's still weak and it needs teeth, and the Public Accommodations section happens to be one of them. That enough. And if we can either be served and wait for a decision to come down, this would be accepted, or if we can have the restaurant closed up. But the day is over when this restaurant can stay segregated one more day and stay open while it's going to court. And personally, the feeling is if the restaurant owners knew in advance they would have to close up while this case was in court, we would get away from a lot of problems where our entire town integrates and you have one holdout. You know the city officials, many of them are responsible, and I don't think you could find a town where it'd be totally disresponsible with all the city officials, but you could find one restaurant owner that could be irresponsible, that could cause the whole town to blow up, and we feel the law needs better teeth.
This morning, homeowners in this integrated neighborhood in South DeKalb County found this circular in their mailboxes. There is nothing subtle about the notice. It is aimed at homeowners, presumably white, who want to move and move fast. The sender offers to buy a homeowner's equity. For up to $1,000, he says he'll assume the loan on a house. There is no name on the notice. There is only a telephone number and it says you can call day or night. The advertiser offers to come out and look at the house no later than 60 minutes after the telephone call is made. The people in this neighborhood see this as an unabashed effort to get white homeowners to move out so more Negroes can move in.
Although they are not actually doing anything right now that they can be prosecuted for by the Georgia Real Estate Commission, they are letting you know that they are aware of the fact that there are colored people living in the area, and they're more or less insinuating that you should sell your home and move.
What do the white homeowners in this area plan to do? Move out or stay and fight?
The majority of them are going to stay and fight. They do not want to move and get out.
How do they intend to do this?
By refusing to talk to the real estate salesman and by refusing to sell their equity, by joining together and letting other people know that they're not going to move.
They have accepted integration?
Yes, they have.
Now, as has been said, there are many different definitions of what black power is. Our vice president once said that it was terrible, it was horrible, it was evil, it was racist, and was reactionary. And then about 6 months later, he said it was wonderful, beautiful, fantastic, and something that everyone ought to appreciate. So it's extremely difficult to know exactly what it is. I have my own definition, and that is, it is black people having power. And that power, to me, means the ability to influence others to act, even against their will. That's to say, if I have equal power with one of you, then we're at a standoff. You can't make me do anything, and I can't make you do anything. If I have greater power than you do, then I can make you do what I wish, even against your will. And that's power to me, the ability to influence the actions and behaviors of others, even against their will. And black power is black people having that
We
power.
still feel that one of the most decisive steps that the Negro can take at this hour is a short walk to the voting booth. And so we are now embarking upon this all-important campaign.
How y'all doing? Oh, see all the pretty things and all the wonderful things I brought you for Christmas. Those are her. Those she's just like her mother. And I hear from them, I said, oh, maybe they're getting a picture of the houses, you know. They said, yes, come. Then you can tell what a nice Christmas you had.
Do you think you're a typical 17-year-old?
Well, by the time a person's 17, they have gone through a lot of things. And so I've gone through maybe a little more, but I'm pretty average.
Do you, because of your past experience, do you have difficulty relating to other people your age?
Sometimes, most times it's in a social group, you know. I can speak to them and they can understand, but you know, do the same things too often.
Do you feel that you're perhaps more mature than the average 17-year-old?
It's possible. Other people seem to think so.
What would be your advice to other youngsters who might be having a hard time?
Well, I would advise them to make the best out of all situations and ask a lot of questions.
Is that what you did?
Yes.
It seems to have worked. Do you feel that your hard times are over now?
No, not quite. I'm making a lot of progress, but I still have college to go and get my nursing career on foot.
But compared to your life 10 years ago, you feel like you have it made now?
Oh, yes.
Bye. Bye. Merry Christmas. I hope y'all have Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Go ahead and get in the car just like